Welcome to another episode of Mini Math Lessons with Karen, and today the focus of the lesson is on reflection and sort of a beginning lesson on reflection. What is a reflection? Students can drag and move and explore measures and distance and orientation through this activity. So it's sort of a way to get them to understand what is a reflection, what's it look like, and by the end, hopefully they can come up with their own definition. So as always, it's a free lesson and the URL for it is in the description of the video. I'm using Classpad.net, which is a free math software. When you type in or copy paste the URL for the activity, it'll come up in your browser and you can just play with it as it is and have fun exploring, same with the kids. If you want to save it, save the work that you did, or maybe you were like, oh, I love this, but I think it needs this, add something to it, modify it, then what you want to do is make sure you've created a Classpad.net account. It's free. And then once you do that, you can duplicate the activity and basically create your own copy. So here's the activity. And so the beginning of it is sort of an explanation of what's going to happen. So they're exploring this type of transformation called a reflection. Here's a little bit of a description of what a transformation is. And now we're going to explore what a specific transformation called a reflection does to an object. So as they scroll down, you'll see along here on the left, there are some directions, and each set of directions has some questions, and they're going to be just writing their observations here. So again, this is more about them exploring, comparing, moving, checking things out. So there's some directives, so they're just going to basically at first just kind of explore what happens when I move this line of reflection. What do I notice about the shapes? Here's my pre-image, here's my image. What's different? What's the same? Looks like it's the same shape. What looks different? Oh, it looks like the points have sort of been switched around in their order. So it's like a mirror. And so they can just explore different things. And there's questions that are asked of them over here. And the cool thing about this is because it's dynamic software, you can change things and it happens right away. I could change the shape, and what happens when I do that? Here's my original pre-image. I'm changing it, and guess what? The reflection of it changes exactly the same. So these are the things we want them to notice, and they're going to write those observations down here. Then it gives them some specifics. Okay, so you've explored, you've written down some things you noticed. Now let's explore a little bit more. Let's find out some more properties. So one of the first things they're going to do is, these are hide show buttons. So they're going to see segments that basically are connecting or corresponding points. So they get to explore, oh, what does that do? And, and how do they seem to compare? They're not the same length, obviously. So what is the same? They all seem to cross the line of reflection. So then they can explore some more things. So let's explore, oh, look, the measure, the distance from each point to that reflection seems to be the same, and they can move things around, and then we can actually look at the angle measures. Wow, all these angles seem to be right angles. What's that mean? So how could I describe this line of reflection? And then let's hide these again. So again, once they unhide something, they can move things and play around. It's the beauty of dynamic software. So then they're also going to explore, okay, so here's the size of each. What do I notice about corresponding sides? And they can change each shape, move the line, and see if it holds true. And then same thing with angles. I can look at the angles, I can change the shapes, and what do I notice about corresponding angles? So after all of this exploration, hopefully they've come up with some things that seem to be thus consistent. So the very last part of this activity is, looks like it didn't put it, but the very last part of this activity is to basically give a definition of what a reflection is. So that's where we're going with this, and have fun exploring. And I've noticed a little errors coming up here, so I'm going to go fix that real quick and have fun.